Arcane Season 2, Episode 2, titled Watch It All Burn. Now, this episode is all about Jinx, this one. I mean, you you kind of do see, Violet, you do see, the other characters from Episode 1, but this is all about what has Jinx been doing since the events of Season 1. And it's basically about grief. I mean, so far we're having two episodes about grief. For for Jinx's case is saying goodbye to her father figure, saying goodbye to the only person who she thought understood her, who cared for her, who made her feel belonged, and all those adjectives, and now he's gone. Cisco's gone, and so now she feels lost. Now she doesn't know what to do. She understands she can't just walk around the streets anymore. She is now a wanted criminal, but she's like there in the shadows, just sitting there doing nothing. Yeah, she wants it all burned, and she wants everyone to feel what she feels and all that type of things. But at the same time, she doesn't feel motivated. It's the whole thing of like, hey, I better do this, but I'm not motivated right now because this thing has taken away from me, and because we have to understand, like, even though it's been 3 years, the events of season one just happened. It happened like 2 days ago, like a week ago, right? So naturally, it's still fresh. It's fresh out of my mind. And I will say this: the way they showed a lot is showcasing who's left in our villains. From series one, who's left, and it's pretty. Or the best way to describe it: who's not there. Well, Secret is not there anymore, you know, and the Chainsaw Lady is not there anymore. Hint, the hint the last episode, her getting her neck snap or her neck slice off or whatever. So clearly, those two characters are gone. And the way they do it is kind of using family photos. Like, this is a family. For Jinx's mind, it is a family. And they're slowly, getting killed off and sliced off. And, she's probably realized that it's probably just going to be her. There's a possibility that she probably feels like she has no one. And, and and all that. Like, there's a wonderful scene with her and Magpie. And Magpie is also feel lost because now she's a leader. Now she's meant to lead this team, lead these like antagonists that we met from series one, and everyone has different ideas. Everybody has different points of view. She's trying to go all like, look, this is not how we do things, and everybody's like, well, you know, the old way is the old way, and now this is a new way, darling. And all those adjectives, all those things that makes, and she feels lost on her own. And then there's a neat bond between those two, between her and Jinx. It is, and clearly this whole like, this whole Jinx believes that Violet doesn't care about her. She's dead to V is dead to Jinx, like all that kind of thing. Clearly, there's still love there. Still, there's this, when she points the gun, at V. There's a sense of she can't do it. Because she still sees her sister. It's her sister. It's her sister. Her sister. So she's still family. Even though she wants to be, the little girl is still there. Even though there's this belief that was it Viper is still around? Wait, is it Viper? Paola, sorry, that Paola is still there, and she is probably still there, because that big shout that she does at the end, nearly at the end, before we had this big fight, it's a scream of pain, in every type of pain, lost pain, painful pain, hateful pain, you know, probably regretful. Like, she's probably regretting what she's done. Maybe she does want to walk backwards, but because she did what she did, she can't. And the scene at the carnival or like the arcade, there's a level of tension. Um, there's a level of tension there that is so well handled, so beautifully handled, and that there's this little girl that shows up at the beginning of the episode, which I'm wondering if this girl going to be a big thing, if the idea is like here's here's sick, you know now Jinx is raising like the cycle continues. Jinx is raising this little girl as if Cisco as like Cisco did to her and all that kind of stuff. It could be that. We'll see if this is more like a that little girl just showed up. It's more like an episode one, like episode 2 thing, and that's it. I don't like the fight scene that happens in it. I get the concept of like, look, you got some characters thinking we just need to hand Jinx in because they don't care about Jinx. Just hand Jinx in. But there's a part of me that felt like the fight that happens in this episode maybe wasn't needed, or no, went a little bit too long for me. Because I get it, it's the idea that, hey, these are people who are not going to sit down but have a fight. And of course you want to showcase Magpie's new arm and all the fancy stuff it can do. And show like why this arm is like an upgrade. But there's a part of me that felt like, okay, this is getting a bit too long. There's not much, except maybe the team up thing of like, hey, Magpie and Jinx are now seeing common ground. Maybe there's a sense of that, but there's a way to do it, and it felt too long. I felt like it just went on. That fight just went on and on and on. Because I felt like there wasn't a much now the purpose behind it. Because action without no purpose is just visual noise, and it just felt like a little bit like, well, each episode we need a fight scene, so here's a fight scene. So that's what it felt like. And I felt like, hey, have this different type of action sequence, which is a stealth of Jinx sneaking out of that arcane where with all the military, including Violet, is that use that as a way to do it. But yeah, now and also the other thing I was like a little bit like, okay, what's going on here is the Victor stuff. Victor in this episode, he comes out, he's waking up, he is full metallic, his whole body's metallic, and he walks away. He's like, I'm done. I'm done with this whole science stuff. And he walks out with a robe and his cane. He's walking down the street, and he's healing people. And I'm thinking, he's basically Jesus. He's like putting his hand on it, and he's doing the whole "don't be afraid, everything's fine," that whole thing. I was like, okay. This is getting a bit like, what is going on? Like, again, this is Act 1. There's like 6 other episodes. Things will be explained a little bit later on, but and maybe it is a situation where we're seeing out the groundwork. Because the difference with Season 1 is Act 1 is setting up why there's a big gap and why Jinx and Violet are split up. What happened? What's the big downpour, what happened when they were kids, like and then we can have a big time jump in for Act 2 in Series 1. Act 1 clearly for Series 2 is a whole different ballgame. This is a whole deal, setting up the groundwork, setting up all the WTF stuff. And the good thing is it's only 2 weeks, 3 weeks, right? So. But I'm not sure about this whole Victor thing. I kind of felt like, why is Victor doing, going all healing mode and all that? But anyway, things will be answered. Things will be explained. Like, clearly I feel like the whole mysterious guy hunting, killing bears and then letting robotic nanotech continue its beating heart. Like, where the hell is going on with that? Clearly, that's to be hinting later on, because once again, this is Act 1. When Act 1 is done, we got 6 other episodes and 2 more weeks to go. So, it's, things hopefully will be explained, because this is the final season. It's Netflix. Of course it's the final season. But it's the final season. The show will only have 2 seasons. So, in 18 episodes. So anything that doesn't get explained here or explained in the season won't be explained at all. So, or maybe, I mean, it's always been seen as a prequel to the games or whatever, but let's be honest, it's kind of its own thing. So, but to be fair, I never played League of Legends, so what the hell do I know? But anyway, comment below, let me know your thoughts of episode 2.